So, Caol, Leathan, agus Leathan is one of my favorite things to teach for the simple fact that it kind of sometimes can seem very complicated for a lot of children, but it's actually extremely easy if you remember this simple rule. The way I always remember it is that Caol.ie is a website. If you can remember that Caol.ie is a website, you will remember that .ie, I and E are the vowels of Caol. The IE are Caol. Next we have Leathan, and very simply, the way I remember Leathan and the way I teach it is that it's all the other ones. So the only other options you have is A, O, and U. You might say that's very simple, maybe oversimplified way of looking at it. Yes, it is, because it's extremely simple. If you can remember that Caol.ie is a website, Caol.ie, Caol.ie, you will always know IE is Caol, and you will always know Leathan is A, O, and U. Now, of course, the benefits of that are that when you come to a stage when children are actually starting to conjugating verbs and stuff like that, and definitely when it comes, especially when you're in the odd wrong and then going off into secondary school, that's all absolute bare bones grammar that they're really the absolute foundation fundamentals they're going to need to know is verb conjugation. If you can get that early, generally I suppose you'd be looking around 4th class. It depends on school to school. Brad and Shade go home on ain't wrong Marin gain that there's no 2 classes the same. Another very simple way of doing it is if you can at very least group I and E together in your head. Make sure, well, I know I and E are somewhere, and I know A, O, and U are somewhere else. And another very simple way of doing it is if you're able to group them together and you have I and E together, I is the thinnest one. It's the thinnest vowel there is. So if you can group I and E together and remember, well, do you know what? I is the thin one, then that has to be the slender group.
Just had a bit of an afterthought there. So if you think there's an easier way of actually teaching that concept, put it into the comments and let us know if there's an easier way of doing it. That's just the way I do it. Same with all the videos I'll be posting in the future. This is the way I learned it. It's the way I teach it. It's the easiest way I found. But if you have an easier way, put it, share it in the comments if you don't mind. And hopefully you might be able to learn from each other. All right, so, Armila Magav.